This is from The Guardian. America's first robot farm. Excuse me, I wanted to say firm. America's first robot farm replaces humans with incredibly intelligent machines. Aeronox, based in California, aims to improve labor shortages and pressure to produce crops by using AI and heavy machinery. We don't have a labor shortage. We have a wage shortage. America's first autonomous robot farm launched last week in the hopes that AI can remake an industry facing a serious labor shortage and pressure to produce more crops. We don't have a food shortage, we have a distribution problem. Claiming an ability to grow 30 times more produce than traditional farms on the strength of the AI software year-round, soil-less hydroponic processes, and moving plants as they grow to efficiently use space, the San Carlos, California-based company Aeronox aims to address some of the agricultural industry's biggest challenges. Such challenges have also caught the attention of investors who made more than $10 billion in investments last year, representing a 29% increase from 2016. If we have such a shortage of food in this country and we have such a desire for more crops, why are some farmers being paid to not grow stuff? Why is that happening if we have said shortage? Autonomous machines do the heavy lifting. Okay. A robotic arm, which is also autonomous, harvests the plants by gripping. Okay, so this just explains how it works. I think it's pretty, we get how robots work and they're able to farm. Considering the major issues of facing agriculture going forward, Alexander is confident in his robotics-first approach now as he was 3 years ago when he started. We need to do something drastic. We need to do something radical to fix this, not just something 5 to 10% more efficient. Well, and again, this is why we got to get ready for a more jobless society. Nicholas Carr from The Shallows will tell you, and I believe this theory is very accurate, that once the technology gets here, it doesn't go backwards. Once we have the technology, it's not going anywhere. And once the technology is infringed upon, it doesn't go back. That's why I'm such a strong advocate for net neutrality and hopefully building municipal broadband across the country. Because if we lose net neutrality and the internet as we know it gets gutted, it's never going to go back. It doesn't go back. And the same goes for technology here. Like once they start developing machines that can accurately farm and adequately farm, it's not going to go back. It's not going to go back. So we need to be prepared for a more jobless society. And we don't have a labor shortage. We have plenty of people that want to work. We have a wage problem. We have an inequality problem. We don't reach our potential GDP because we have so many people that are underemployed or want to work and can't find work. Because, yeah, if you want somebody to work and you're going to pay them a wage they can't survive on, well they're just going to keep looking. Like they can't. So this whole idea that we have some crazy food or labor shortage, I don't buy it. And the other kind of alarming thing here is that this is probably going to occur most on farms that can afford it. Big, large factory farms that are, as far as if they're doing meat, they're worse for the environment than small farms. And they're the ones that use your GMOs, your Monsantos, stuff like that. So hopefully this doesn't kill off the actual organic farming industry. Although, I think as long as people make efforts in their communities to shop there, I think the local farms will be able to survive. So I think a side note we can add to this, and this is the Heartland hippie in me speaking, but nonetheless, go to your local farmer's market and keep going there. I try to go to mine every week. I really do. I make the effort. It's so worth it because the vegetables and fruits are just so much better. So much. I mean, it just goes without saying. Or, maybe you have a local grocery store that has a good organic section. Sometimes I have to get some things from the store, but I like to go to a more local California-based supplies chain store called Vallarta. It's a Latin grocery store, and that's where I like to go. If I'm going to go to a grocery store, I prefer to go to a farmer's market. But I think that's a side note here. Whenever you see threats to traditional farming, please go out of your way to support your local farmer. We talk about crop shares a lot on this show. I recommend if you can do one, do one. Sometimes it might not make sense for you. For me, here in Los Angeles, I looked into crop shares. They're, like everything else in Los Angeles, they're pretty expensive. And it just made more sense for me to just buy stuff from a farmer's market a la carte than it made for me to get a crop share, because there's so many. I mean, there's farmer markets every day of the week in different parts of town because it's such a big place. Now, when I lived in Tennessee, there were still a lot of farmers markets. The Southern Bounty is nothing to mess with. But crop shares were more affordable, and it just made more sense for me, instead of trying to seek out crop shares, especially since I traveled 40-plus weeks a year. It was cheaper and more efficient for me to have a box every week where I would get a share of crops. And for anyone that's not in the know, because maybe you weren't on the stream when we talked about it in the past, a crop share is you sign up via a local farm and you get a share of what they grow every week. So when the harvest is good, you get a lot of food. When the harvest is not so good, you get less, but you're still going to get a big box that's going to feed you and your family. And you can get a different size depending on your needs, whether it's just you as an individual, or you have a family, or you're a couple, whatever. I got a share that was just meant for a couple, but we got so much, we actually shared it with another couple when I lived in Tennessee. So anyway, I think that's an important side note, because I do firmly believe in organic farming and sustainable farming. And honestly, your taste buds thank you. I remember, like, when I used to get my crop share, and we would get these carrots, and God, they were just so great. And I remember the first time, like, because harvest season was only 28 weeks, and at least with the crop share I was part of. So after the 28 weeks was over, you kind of either had to go to a farmer's market where they would only have so much fresh stuff, or you would have to just go to a grocery store. So at times I would just have to go to a grocery store, and I would get my carrots from the grocery store. And oh my God, the first time I would bite into a grocery store carrot, I would just get so pissed off. And I would buy, it was organic, so it was like the best you could get as far as carrots from the grocery store. But nonetheless, it's, oh my God, such a difference. Like, such a difference when you bite into that grocery store carrot and you're like, oh God, this sucks. This sucks ass. Compared to the carrots I was just seeing. So your taste buds will thank you. And again, sometimes when things are out of harvest, I got to buy certain things at the store. That's fine. I do it. We all do it. But, I do encourage everyone, try to support your farmers and your farmers markets when you can, because it's when you see stuff like this, it's all that more important. And looking at a bigger picture, this is why we need a jobs program or a UBI. We need both. We need a jobs program because we got to do the best we can to reach 100% employment. But, with technology ever expanding, we need a UBI because, I think we are slowly moving to a place where there's just going to be less jobs. There's just not going to be the need for certain jobs. And there will be new jobs that sprout because of that, certainly. But yeah, we could become a more autonomous society. So that's why it's time for a UBI. And support your local farmers.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our